Hey guys, Allison here. Well, we are in the month where we're talking about relationships, right? It's February. And one of the things that we, especially as Christians and Catholics, we think about one of the things in the Bible about wives be obedient to your husbands. And that has been a sticking point for a lot of people over the years because let's face it, there are men who have used that to kind of lord it over their wives and be very abusive. But that's not what it's intended for. So let's talk about that. What does it mean to be obedient in marriage? And it's not a one-way street because the other part of that scripture is husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church, that he laid down his life for her. So they're not getting off scot-free here. That's even more important, right? That's even bigger, to lay down your life. So what does it mean to be obedient in marriage? So let's think about this. What does it mean to be obedient to God? Okay, we have the 10 Commandments. We have church teaching. So we know what his will is, what his desire is. And it's up to us whether we obey those things or not. We're always free. But when we develop a love relationship with God, now, of course, you go to confession and in the act of contrition, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but mostly because they offend you, who is all good and deserving of all my love. So there we have it, that, sometimes we do things out of fear of punishment, but when we're in a relationship, it's because we don't want to hurt the beloved. We want to do those good things, right? So if God gives us free will, and we choose to obey his commandments and to obey him by doing good, by avoiding sin, by going to confession when we do fall into sin, all those things, that's the same thing in marriage. To do what your spouse likes, or to stop doing those things your spouse asks you not to do. So, give you an example. I like romaine lettuce, but I prefer spring mix because it's so much easier. But my husband really loves romaine lettuce. So if he asks for a salad, as much as it's easier to do the spring mix, I will do the romaine lettuce. And I hate doing it. I really hate it. I've got to clean it and rinse it and put it through the salad spinner. It's just a pain in the neck. But I do it because I love my husband. Do I wish he'd get on board with spring mix? Yeah, every now and then if I'm having a lot of company, I might do spring mix, and okay. But in general, right, if I know my husband wants me to shut the lights off when I leave the room, little bad habit I have, I will try to remember to do that. So that's the whole idea. And I think that we've got to be very careful because it's so easy to get reactionary, right? Especially because the world is telling us how men oppress women and the church oppresses women. That's not it at all. So obedience in marriage is doing what your spouse likes and not doing those things your spouse doesn't like. And I'm not talking about in situations that are abusive or anything like that. I'm talking in general. If you want to have a happy relationship, obedience, all right? In that sense of that free obedience, doing what they like, not doing what they don't like. Now, of course, we all have bad habits and things that we're working on, so it's not going to be a perfect system. But that's what's going to make a relationship work and be happy in the long run. And it also calls us to change and do things. Obviously, I should be shutting the lights when I leave the room. It's a waste of energy if I don't. So, we call each other up a little bit higher when we kind of state what our needs are. And that's another thing, is to be clear what makes you feel loved and what makes him feel loved or whatever, so that we know. Sometimes we really don't know. And I think that's a big problem in marriages, when there isn't good communication. But like I said, obedience in marriage is doing that which they like and not doing those things that they don't want you to do. Simple as that. I hope you find that helpful. God bless you.